Now, Nth Layer Selector selects same thing here, works exactly the same way as Mod Layer Selector. If you leave it empty, it will be disregarded. And this is critical. It works for all the layers based on your selection here. Okay, I'm going to unlock everything. So Control Shift L will unlock all layers. Assume I've got I want to select only this set of layers. This is what I will do. Okay, so instead of selecting from start index 1 to the last layer, which means all layers, I can select a subset, and then to update the numbers here, there's a 2 index here, right? I hold down Shift and click. You see that? It grabs the range and drops in the indices in here. And now you can search based on this subset instead of the entire, instead of all layers. So while it's still selected, you perform your search. Let's say I want only yellow layers. And there you go. Got that? So it's insanely powerful. Now, how do you reset this? Well, hold down Alt or Option, click here, and that will reset everything. The Alt or Option click within the numeric input field is a reset button for number inputs. Alright, again, works throughout all the different scripts in the in Mac, MEG Mac. Get that? If it doesn't work, that means it's a bug. So don't worry, it's a bug, not a disease. You'll be fine. Drop me a note and I'll try to fix it. Okay, I'm going to deselect here, but before I do, you can invert selection. Alright, you can show only selection. See that? And you can solo selection. And of course, you can restore selection. Okay, so we've seen that you can add patterns. Alright, you can add patterns. And I've got yellow selected. So based on yellow, we've got actually 3 yellow layers here. So it selected the first one, select everyone, skip one, which is this guy that's been skipped, and then it selects this one. See that? You can also start off with selecting all and then go by this pattern. I'm gonna click on yellow again so that now it's gonna ignore label colors in its selection process. See that? So this is insanely useful if you're dealing with certain types of work with lots of layers and you want to do a pattern selection. I'm going to disable that now. Next we'll come over here. There are 2 buttons here, deselect all and then select, but not all. It says all but default because the default doesn't enable this or doesn't check this, these 2, and also child and parent. Child and parent, reason why it's not there because it's something you don't always search for, and if it's there by default, it's gonna slow down the process a little bit, not a lot, but still not necessary, I thought, for default. Raster and vector, they are part of footage, so unless you specifically want them, I've disabled them, but checking footage will also select raster or vector imaging, so there's no loss there. You can add effects, layers with effects. It accepts wildcard, so this accepts all layers with effects, any effect. As you can see, it selects this layer and it has slider controls. So it's not just effects but also slider controls. So if I come here, let's do a drop shadow. Let's try that. So it recognizes expression controls and also poplar effects. Alright, so I'm gonna remove that effect. You can also type in a name, right? So it doesn't have to be a full name. I'm gonna undo, so drop shadow is there. So if we just type shadow, gosh, I haven't tested this in months. Yeah, it works. Excuse me. Alright, so it does work. Um, and put in a comma and other partial names or other effects that you want. Okay, so yeah. So the shift click, like I said, works here. I just shift clicked on this guy and everything went off. Alright. If I shift click here, everything gets selected. Alright. If I alt shift here, this guy becomes soloed, and that's with everything on also. Okay, so if I hold down Alt or Option Shift and click here, this guy becomes a solo selection. And if I want all footage with the yellow label, this is what I will do. See that? Yeah, same with nested comp, Alt Shift, click here. It's a nested comp there, but it doesn't have a yellow label. So I'm going to remove just so that you can see the result that it does its job. So it's quite brilliant, quite beautiful. Hope you like it. Alrighty. Oh, there's room for one more row. So if there's some other stuff you want to add, track matte, just quickly, it selects both the matte layer itself and the fill layer, right? The track matte effect, track matte switch, sorry, has two layers that are affected. One is the fill layer, the other one is the matte. So this option will select both. Maybe let's just do a quick. Alright, so if I Alt Shift this guy, only this guy is selected. All colors are involved in the search because I did not select a specific one. That means all will be selected or part of the search. So as you can see, with track matte checked, it will grab the fill layer, which is this guy, and the matte layer, which is layer index 3. Okay, and the show only works also together with the solo. Right? So it's really good, really powerful.